Hello, welcome back to Primo Calcio. This is week 35 of the Serie A. We're doing our classic review. I am Michael here with Anthony. How are you doing this weekend?
Howdy, howdy. It was a great week again, and things are getting spicy. I'm enjoying it. I wasn't as grumpy as I usually am.
Yeah, whereas most teams have been either drawing or tying or kind of failing when they shouldn't, of the top 10 teams, they pretty much all won besides three of those teams, and two of those were draws. So everybody is starting to pull their own weight right now. So we'll see how they close out the last three games of the season. Um, you want to start with, I guess we'll just go in chronological order, right?
Yeah.
Napoli it is.
Yeah, yeah, baby.
So you kind of called this one in the top five video. One of the players to watch was Raspadori. So I did the other one last week with McTominay. You got
Yep.
Raspadori. They both been very, very clutch. One goal was all it took, and then they were able to hold off a couple scary moments, but they did it. And Napoli, their fate is still in their own hands. They have three games left. They can afford one draw, and the rest had to be wins. See the game?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna miss a Napoli game, that's for sure.
Especially not right now.
Yeah, Conte's. I mean, he's got him playing great. It's up to the boys now to answer the call. The going's gotten tough, and so far so good. They just got to stay on it, man. They got a lot. An amazing and unique opportunity for these players. I don't know how many more times you're going to be in the spot to win a Scudetto with Napoli, and
Right.
here they are. Time to make it happen. I mean, this is how legends are made, baby.
I thought they played well, of course. There was a few little spots there where I mean their defense just
Got
hasn't been
sketchy.
great, but that's kind of been them all season long. Like I don't think their center backs are individually brilliant. I think Buongiorno before his injury was, the rest not so much. But hey, they got the job done. It is what it is. And then I mean they're kind of just riding it out from here on out. I thought this was gonna be the most dangerous game. It's Lecce at home, or sorry, away at Lecce, and I thought that was gonna be dangerous because Lecce's a pretty feisty team right now. And as far as
It was
where they're at in
definitely
the
dangerous.
standings, Lecce's only 1 point above the drop right now, so they needed every point they could get.
Yeah, it was not a beautiful game by any means, and it didn't have to be. Um, there were some missed opportunities on both sides actually. So it was tight, tighter than I'm sure the Mr. Conte wanted it to be. But yeah.
Do you think I mean, is Neres out for the rest of the season? Is he supposed to come back at all for any of these last games?
He's supposed to come back. I mean, I don't know, honestly. It's how you sit out these games. If this isn't an extremely serious injury, then shame on him. Because
Yeah.
this isn't. Yeah, just go. Got off my little soapbox saying, this is a time where legends are made. What a unique opportunity these guys have, and you just, just injured. Just,
Yeah, I mean,
just
if it's not something super serious, then he really should be kind of muscling through. Now, that being said, let's say he does get healthy for the past couple games. I think it'd probably be best to sub him on because he's probably not going to be up for the full game, and he could be a nice impact sub.
yeah, sure.
I would
I,
probably
I I
just
think
keep
I
this
think bringing
going.
his feet off the bench is a great idea. Anyways, I really do.
Yep. I mean, he's probably not going to be in great form when he is. Yeah, sure, you'd start him, but for right now, Napoli's got this working. They do look, a little bit shaky, as I was saying at certain times, but they're back to this kind of 4-4-3-3. Raspadori kind of plays this little hybrid formation. I mean, he does the same thing, right? If he plays all game, he may not do stuff all game long, but he always has one or two opportunities that could change the game, and this one happened.
Yeah, I mean he has the ability to do it. There's something about him that he just never seems to be able to do it consistently. So yeah, he's been very clutch. He's definitely a clutch player, and I put a lot of value into that. I rate clutch players very high. The problem with him is, yeah, he just doesn't do enough on a day-to-day basis. But I mean, he's someone that has to answer the call. So a lot's riding on him right now. That's why he was one of my guys for players to watch
Yeah.
because yeah, he's going to be under a lot of pressure.
It is what separates the good from the great, though, right? Is consistency. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
anybody can do that. They can have a week like this, but can you have several weeks like this? Can you play 75% of the season this way? And I guess that is what separates the guys like Raspadori, who is I think a very good player, but not a great player, from the ones who are like your top 2-3% of the nation or of the world. So
100%. Absolutely true.
so
Consistency definitely separates the good from the great.
big thing to talk about is Conte. And of course, he's going to be putting every little thing he can into this. I don't think he loses a game. Yes, there can be some individual errors, but I think he's going to do enough to win this out. There may be a draw. I don't think that they're going to drop it to Inter. I think Napoli's got this. Not just based off their fixture list, but I just think he's going to get his guys fired up enough. There's 3 games left. He couldn't ask for anything more but to be in this position with a partial game to spare. I think they got it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to say that because there's been some certainly shaky performances, but I mean, the boys got to feel confident by now. I mean, that's it, they're all winnable games, and they can afford to kind of have a half fuck up. So
Yep.
yeah,
Do you think he stays at season end?
yes, yes.
Obviously, you think he should stays, but do you think he actually stays at season end?
I honestly think the only place he'll go is Juventus, and I think he'd be crazy to do that right now. I really do. I don't think any other team I don't think Milan, I don't think Juventus offer him a better opportunity than Napoli does. I think the fan base there is much better than both the fan base at Juventus and at Milan. They're more dedicated, they're more loyal, they're more Italian. I think that that's where he needs to be, and he's got enough money coming in for sales from Cavara and from Osimhen. I mean, the ADL will spend money, but he doesn't have to spend a ton of money. He just needs to bring in a couple key pieces and a couple young players to develop. A couple key people at the end of the year, because I think Anguissa's gone. Labatka might leave. And this is the problem that
Oh,
he also
really?
had.
So
Yeah,
Labarca might leave?
yeah. This is the problem when you hire guys like this, when you sign guys like this, that's not their home. At the end of their career, they either want to go home or they want to go play in Saudi Arabia for big money because they don't, they're just going to collect and bank out before they retire. There's no true passion or love
Mm.
for the club. I'm sure they appreciate their time there and they're grateful, but there's not like that, man, this is my hometown team. This is my country. If you don't have, you're not building your core of national players, this is what you get. So yeah, I think, yeah, both of them are. Anguissa is definitely gone. I don't know about. The rumor is Labatka is too, so we'll see.
Labarca
But
has, I'm looking up right now, it looks like he has a release clause worth around 25 mil, which I
25
think
mil,
I think
yeah,
is totally fine for a player of his caliber. Um, hmm. I mean, it
I think it's fun.
depends. It depends if he actually wants to go. I mean,
Yeah, no, I think he does. He's freshly married. I think his lady wants to, have him make some more money so that when she divorces him, she can take a little more. The half is worth more.
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's 30, right? So
Hmm.
at this point in his career, he's got one move left if he wants it, right?
Yeah.
So he
Right.
either loves the city and loves the club and stays, or he leaves on a high and makes a fat paycheck. Honestly, I couldn't blame him at this point, anyways, unless he is personally bonded to Napoli forever. So it's hard to
He's
judge him
bonded
as
to
far as
Napoli
that goes.
forever.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's
So
definitely not. I mean, yeah, yeah.
I
I
would
think
say he's got one more chance to get an amazing contract because he's coming off of a very good year, actually several good years, and he's turning 30. His next contract won't be 34. You're not going to get a higher
right.
contract at that point. So if he does want to like close out his career and set his family up in generations, he's probably going to be moving.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. That's
So this will be a very, very
and
interesting offseason. I guess we'll do that towards the end,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, either way, I think he's that's gonna be hard pressed to replace
Well,
a
those are
good D
things
mid
that are
card.
going to determine. Oh yeah, well, and I think Gilmore is an excellent player, and I actually don't think the fall off's that big. I think Gilmore's actually a better distributor of the ball. Just Labaka's just so good with the ball to speak, getting out of tight spots. He's excellent at it. He's such a good player. But
Yeah,
Gilmore's really really good. He's got great vision. He definitely is a solid regista, and there's other options too. I mean,
yeah,
Conte will bring in a guy, and he'll solve the problem. But I don't think he wants to solve 5 problems.
no. I
You
mean,
know,
I
we
think Anguissa is easier to replace. It's less of like a
yeah,
linchpin position. But I mean, yeah, losing 2 of your starting 3 midfielders is difficult. So we'll see what
yeah,
happens. But for now, they've got everything clicking in the right direction. I think Napoli does have this just because of the faith that I have in Conte to get his team to play at an incredibly high level for the last few matches here.
yeah. I mean, and they have really good. I mean, the guys that they brought in. I mean, why would you want to walk away from those guys? You're gonna bring those guys into another team now. Guys like McTominay, Lukaku, Buongiorno, Spinazzola. I mean, these are guys that he brought in that have all been
Yeah,
excellent. I mean, they've been the best players. So I don't know why you'd walk away from that, but he's a strange guy, and I know he's very obsessed with that Juventus job, and he might go to Milan because he might think that they can spend more money too. Because I know he wants to he wants his
He
teams to
likes
be.
challenges too, man. I mean, he's
Yes.
played all over the place, right? He's played at almost every big club in Italy besides Milan. Or sorry, he's coached every big club in Italy besides Milan. I mean, I wouldn't
Mhm.
consider Roma up at the same level of those. So I mean, that's really the last one he's got to hit is Milan. So yeah, I think if he stays in Italy and leaves Napoli, it's going to be either Milan or Juve, right?
Yeah,
But
I mean that'd be
I
your only
definitely want to
challenge.
see him build at Napoli though. The
Yeah.
pieces are laid. I want to see at least a second year.
Yeah, he's a lot of these guys that rebuild teams, and you see them in other sports. Notably, one of my favorite NFL coaches was Bill Parcells. They once they get their or get like to check the box, like, all right, my team's turned around. It's almost like they lose interest. Because coming to the field every day, with the project, backs against the wall, no one expects this, that whole
Yeah,
gimmick, that runs thin once you're there.
that could just be
So
Conte, man. Because I mean, I think the
yeah,
longest he stayed was at Juve, and that was 3 years. Everywhere else has been 2 years.
mhm,
Like pretty consistently,
yeah,
he's a 2 year guy. He rebuilds, right? First year is amazing. Second year's either amazing or starts to kind of tail off, and then he probably loses the motivation, rebuilds somewhere else. But he does
he was
leave a nice wake behind him almost every place he goes, which
he
is
was
nice.
3 years at Juve. That's 3 titles. He was 2 years at Inter with one title. He was 1 year at Chelsea, 1.5 years at Chelsea with the title. Was that 1 year at Tottenham,
I don't know,
and then
but
now
I know
he's one.
he's basically you can count on him for pretty much 2 years each time.
Yeah, maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
two.
maybe yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you said, he leaves like in his wake
Generally pretty
a
good.
winning culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he lives a winning culture everywhere he goes. It's better off. Um, so yeah,
All right, let's move forward to Inter. Inter Milan
yeah.
also pulled it off. A lot of one goal games this week. I mean, everything's kind of tightening up. A lot of one goal victories, a lot of 1-0s, which is kind of what you're going to see towards the end of the season here. So
Mhm.
Inter got I believe it was a penalty goal by Aslani early on in the game. Um, I don't know. I don't think Inter's playing great just in general. Like they
They
didn't
played well
look.
against Barcelona. They're just I think that's what their focus is. I think they've made their choice now, and I think we've seen it.
Yeah,
And they've started a lot of their backups in that game,
they just don't
and
have the depth to do it. But I mean,
they don't.
their backups should be good enough to beat Verona. Verona has almost
Oh yeah.
actually Verona has no attacking slot or attacking threat. They have nobody who can slot into that role and actually like get some goals. Suslov is probably their best bet. He's got some good like long range shooting, but I mean they have no actual real goal scorers in that team.
No, they
I
shouldn't
don't
have
see
either.
where the threat comes from.
No,
Verona.
I agree with you.
I mean,
I
look,
agree.
they played Bisek, DeVry, and Augusto. The thing is, they're so thin. All those guys are probably gonna have to play in this next game. Maybe not DeVry, but I'm sure Augusto's gonna get several minutes. Bisek is gonna start. Darmian probably starting. Cortezi subbing. Aslani probably subbing. Zielinski subbing. Zalewski subbing. Arnautovic credit. So actually should have mainly subs, which is good for them. Their defense is where they're incredibly thin, and most of those guys are starting.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying it for weeks. Their depth is where
They're
they
thin.
struggle, and I think that Inzaghi finally had to make the choice. I know he was pretty, and I liked his attitude about it. He wanted all three. And it was definitely looking the face that he might walk out of here with zero. So,
Yep. I
yeah, I
mean,
think they made their choice.
for us, it's the best thing because as we are not Inter supporters and generally have not liked them throughout the years, I don't mind them these past few years personally, and I'm totally cool with them representing Italy and winning Champions League. That's actually, of course, who I want to win Champions League. But it's for me, it was nice that they fell off in Coppa and they fell off in Serie A, so it's good. And as I was saying at the very beginning of when we started casting, I think that's where Inter should put their chips because they just won the as you like to say the 19th, right? So, but on paper they're 20th, so that's a big thing for them. They got the double star, and now it's definitely time to go more towards Champions League because this squad, I think it's gonna fall off a bit, especially after this year, unless they do some pretty good rebuilding. I don't think it's gonna have that potential to win a Champions League like they do this year. So
Right.
same
I
thing
agree.
with Napoli pushing balls to the wall for the Scudetto. Inter needs this now for Champions League because I don't know when they're gonna be back next.
I definitely think that they're going to be taking it. Well, I think they've already announced that they're going to be taking a little bit different approach to the way they have worked their transfers. So I think they're going to go with a little bit younger group. They have the experience they need already there. They have the leadership and the
Yeah.
foundation built. I think it's smart to do that going forward. But yeah, this is their best shot right now at snagging a Champions League. So let's hope they come through for Italy's sake.
Inzaghi, you think
Mhm.
you think he should stay? Of course, if they win the Champions League, he's staying. It's not even close, right? And he should. But if he doesn't win Champions League, he gets second in the league, and obviously got kicked out of Copa. Do you think Inzaghi should stay? Do you think he will stay? What do you think is going to happen in the coaching carousel that almost always happens in Serie A every few years?
I don't think I think it'd be a mistake to get rid of Inzaghi just because I don't see a better option out there. Like who do you hire instead of Inzaghi? I think Inzaghi has underachieved greatly with that team. I think he's taken over the best roster in Italy, and he's had the best roster in Italy for since he took the team over for what 4 years now, and he has one Scudetto to show for it. He did make it to a Champions League final. That's great, but um, I mean, you got to win more. You have the best team in Italy. You need to win. I have a feeling Allegri would be able to win with that roster. Just call me crazy. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
who do you
feel
sign?
similar because yes, I think that that would be a underachievement based on the few amount of trophies he's actually won in the time that he's had this team, and for years in the past they've definitely been the best consistent team. However, there's not other coaches I think that are rumored that would be around that could take over and I think would do a better job. There's really not. I mean, just looking inside Serie A, there's no coach besides Conte who I think would come in here and do a better job. But honestly, I don't know if going into a team that is not this is still got some pieces of it's not exactly his team, he would do that much better. I mean, he's in the fight for Scudetto. He was semifinals of Copa, semifinals of Champions League. There's not much better you can get. So you really need to be getting a true top class manager if you're going to replace Inzaghi. So I don't think I would, even if they lose out and win nothing this season, unless like some like legendary coach comes available. And just don't even know who that would be. I really don't.
Well, and, what the excuse? What year one was Napoli. Napoli caught fire. Okay. Then the next year was what Milan.
Yeah,
Who's catching fire next? Come on, like there can't always be a team hotter than you. At some point, your quality needs to come through, and it's not that hard to play 2 games a week. Teams can do it. It's. I would expect more league titles, and I hope I'm not jinxing it. And Napoli goes and lays a fucking stinker now, but it's Napoli's to lose at this point because
yeah.
they have the leading points. So now Inter can't win it, and Napoli has to lose it. So I mean, I want to see more from Inzaghi. He needs to get past Barcelona. I think it's totally doable. But yeah, I need to see him actually, get some proper silverware
When
here.
did
I'm not talking
Inzaghi
about
come
Copas.
to come to Inter?
22. Hold on, let's see. I look it up real quick.
Simone
Good buddy. It's
Inzaghi.
been 4 years, man.
See when Inzaghi came across to Inter. 2021 season. Look at the
Okay,
2020 to 2021 season. That wasn't him then, because the Inter won the Scudetto 2020 to
that was
2021.
Conti.
That was Conte
Yeah,
then,
Conti
right?
won. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then they were ahead of Milan by 12 points. 22,
Mm-hmm.
21-22 was Milan. So his first year it was Milan. They lost by 2 points in the very last game of that season
Yep.
to Milan. And then Napoli the next year after that. Then Inter. So yeah, I mean he's only won one. And I mean
four
they've
years.
done respectable job in Champions League, but this is the time. Like they got to a final, right? And then now they're at a semifinal. This is
He's done
it.
well in the Champions
I
League.
don't
This
think
is
this team is gonna last though.
no, it's not. They're already thin in terms of depth. They're trying to bring in younger guys. Which I don't know if I, when you really think about it, I mean, their core of their team is what, mid to late 20s. I mean, they got a long time to go with the squad. I mean, you might as well bring in guys that age and just keep rocking. I don't know. Who knows? But I think he's underachieved. I think he's done better in Europe than he has in Italy, but he's got nothing to show for it in Europe so far. So
Yeah.
they can definitely win. They can win the Champions League this year. They're definitely have a shot against Barcelona now. And who's on the other side? Arsenal and PSG. They can absolutely
Yeah,
beat those teams.
it's
Absolutely.
definitely winnable. I mean, there's some teams
They
still
are.
there on fire, but it's definitely winnable. I mean,
They have just so much
Barcelona to
class.
me has been like the best team. So if they get through Barca, there's no reason that
Yes.
they can't win it. I mean, I know it's all one game, and who knows, but they're the best team, and they have like the biggest superstar right now too, who is playing at those levels. So if you get through this, that's a pretty good
They can.
test.
They can absolutely win the
Yep.
Champions League. That if I'm Inter, I'm all in on that. I think you botch the league. I mean, you should be able to win out in the league anyway. Listen to the teams you got in front of you if you're Inter. So all Napoli can do is F it up. It's all the pressure's on Napoli right now. Inter, can just play their games, walk away with them, win them, whatever.
I
But
mean, I think
yeah,
that they still
they
have like Lazio, right? If Lazio and they have Como at Como,
do they?
they don't have the easiest of schedules. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they
I'm
were down
pretty
with the
sure
pool.
Inter's got a couple other matches that are not so
Gee,
easy. They've got Torino next. They have Lazio after that, and I believe they end with Como. So
those are all
it's
actually, yeah, those are all actually challenging
Torino. I
games.
don't think it's gonna be that challenging because they're fighting for nothing. Otherwise, I would say yes. But I think the last
Yeah.
2 weeks, yes. I mean, because Lazio is battling for something. Como is just a feisty team to play at their place anyway. So
Yeah.
I mean, theirs isn't so easy. Napoli has the definitely easier one because nobody's really fighting for anything there. So
Mhm.
they definitely leaning towards it. Either way, though, I agree. I would not fire Inzaghi. I don't think there's any coach right now that's around and available
No.
that's going to do better than him. So even if they don't win anything, I think you still got to stay with him.
I mean, the only coach that's available that really has the pedigree, I would say that would be a serious, under serious consideration would be Allegri, and I think that's a sideways move. Maybe not. Maybe I mean Allegri's definitely more accomplished, but I just think it's,
Yeah.
I don't know. You have a good system going. It's working. It drives me a little crazy at times, but it's modern and it works.
Yep. All right. Next we go to Lazio. Lazio, a very
Oh,
uneventful game, 1-0 again, as a lot of these matches have been. 1-0, I think Bologna got the goal early on. Good ball. I believe it was from Husai who got the ball, who also ended up getting sorry, and then yeah, he got a red card. So did Colombo. I don't. I'm pretty sure Colombo's red card I worthy, which is how a lot of things go. I'm generally way less inclined to penalize a lot of these guys that refs give cards to. But yeah, not much happened here. Lazio has been sputtering in my opinion. They didn't do well in Europa League towards the end there. They had not looked good in Serie A. They don't look convincing at all right now. Their team suffers. I don't know why, but their team just looks exhausted every time I see them playing. They never seem like they have it right now. They looked really good in their Europa League tie, but they couldn't bury. And after that, I think they've just been drained.
you know, having a lack of fitness is not a good sign for your coaching staff, in my opinion. I mean, there's no excuse for professional athletes to be tired at this point of the season, especially. I mean, this is where your fitness needs to kick in, and you're playing, one game a week, 2 games a week, whatever, guys. There's sports that are way more taxing than this. You got to show up and play. The fact that you say they look tired, that's not a very good sign. It's
They
a kind
just
of
do that.
indictment on
Like
your coaching staff.
not all
No,
their team, but half their team looks a little tired, and most of all, they just look a little sloppy, and they have looked sloppy.
very sloppy.
I would say for 2 months straight now. Like they've
Yeah.
just been getting by, and that's why like when we ask like this race for top four is ridiculous, and we'll go over the points at the end. That's the one team, and I could be wrong. It's one team I'm pretty dang confident is not going to get that fourth spot, even though they're tied on points for it. I'm pretty confident they're not going to get it just because they're so spotty. But I could be totally wrong. Lazio could qualify, and I could be an idiot. But I think that's one team I'm pretty confident will not get it just because of their strange form.
Yeah. I,
I
I
know
I
it's hard
think
to say, but
Barone. Yeah, I think Barone has. I wanna like the guy. I just don't think he's done a great job. I think this team on its own, with many different coaches, finishes in this position. I think with a better coach, they could do a lot better. Who the better coach is, I don't know, but they're having issues that are coaching related. They're poorly organized. They're sloppy. They're losing composure. This kind of thing, and I think they have a really good roster. I like this team. I really do. I
yeah,
think they're talking about being a couple pieces away, but like why aren't they not playing Bella Hain with
I don't know why.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's looked really good, and they're not
especially in games where
playing the guy.
Ravella to me actually has looked much more tired the past like I don't know, month I've seen him.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Give him a break, or at least give him a buddy next to him, so he doesn't have to do all the like the D mid work. I mean, when
Yeah.
he's still trucking along, but Ravella has looked more tired recently. And when
Look
he's
what.
not firing all cylinders, Lazio is a worse team.
Oh, absolutely. He's their whole motor. I mean, he's been so amazing for them all season, and yeah, a lot of the drop offs I think definitely been from him. I think you're right. He's tired and
Yeah, if
he
he's
hasn't been
either
able to
not
produce
playing
the same.
or tired, then those two things typically don't go well for Lazio.
I just think they need to get the three-man midfield going again. I don't like the setup they're doing. It's very annoying, and I just think Barone is like just going with what he knows and
Yeah,
getting the
it's
speed.
hard to say change with like 3 games left, though. It's hard because
Yeah,
you're like,
it
well,
takes
I've got
time.
35 games into the season. How am I going to change that? I think you should, but it's hard to
Not
go against
everybody's
it.
Antonio Conte, changing formations with the title race in the line.
Yeah, it's
Backups
more
all over
about
the field.
your personnel than it is the formation these days. I think that. However,
Yeah,
some coaches really are rigid in their ways.
absolutely. There.
All right, let's move along to Atalanta, who just as predicted, whenever they have a bad week, they then fire back with some wild
Yeah.
score line. So
Yeah, we did well
Atalanta
in our
put
predictions
four.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We've been hitting the past few weeks quite well, actually.
Yeah. A couple weeks in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, hey,
good.
by the way, we probably should have done this at the beginning of the show, but we are on the dive. We had a good discussion about Italians in Italy, and that to me is my favorite Juventus podcast. They're cool dudes, and they're not pussies, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, I think their handle is at the Dive Sports, I believe. So if you're looking for them on YouTube, but yeah, check them out. We had a pretty lengthy talk about 2 hours. Went into a lot of different conversations, just a nice free form thing. So yeah, it's great for them to have us on. But yeah, check that out, guys. And if you're not subscribed to those guys, definitely show them some love. Um,
Stop it out.
I mean, Atalanta, CDK, we've been talking about it for a bit now. He has fell off form drastically. He's finally back, and this should, with having him back, if he can finish the last few games, Atalanta definitely is going to make it in the top 4 spots. There was a chance
Yeah.
that they could have fallen out. I mean, they're only at 68 points right now. If they didn't win one of the past couple games here, they're sitting down at 60, 65 points, well within striking range of 4 teams. So there was a chance. I don't think there's a chance anymore. I think we both said yes, they would finish third, and that's that last little piece that they needed to just guarantee it. So I think Atlanta is going to have smooth sailing, one more win, and they're basically clear.
I'm glad they held it together.
Yeah, it's what's more interesting is, and we've been kind of talking about this with both Napoli and Inter. What's more interesting is what do they do at season end? Atalanta. One, we talked a little bit about this on the dive. Do you think Atalanta is going to survive Gasparini being gone? And who do you think could come in and do a good job? Plus, who will come in? I think that they will have a drop off after Gasparini is out because I think he's been such a massive part of this team. And yes, they have a good machine, a good system. But I think that Gasparini's importance to that team cannot be understated. I also think Gasparini is not going to do as well as he's doing on Atalanta wherever he goes next. I think both those
Yeah, I think
things
he's making a mistake.
are married together and they kind of need each other to have this type of performance.
I think if Gasperini goes to Roma, it's a good move. I think that's a good fit for him. They have
Yeah.
the financial backing to help, and they will give him
Yep.
control. I think they've learned their lesson about control. I think Roma might be the best spot he can go. If it's not Roma, I don't think he's going to like what he's going to get any kind of deal he's going to get at Milan or Juventus. I
Yeah.
just don't. Those management teams are just absolute disasters. I wouldn't go anywhere near those clubs right
I
now if
think
you're a
Juve would
serious
be really
manager.
bad. I think he'd do terrible at
Oh yeah,
Juve. Milan, I think he would actually, weirdly enough, he'd fit them very well because they want a Moneyball and he is the Moneyball master.
he is
Um,
Moneyball. You're right. Yeah,
and he plays youngsters and gets the best out of them, so he would weirdly enough fit their model
it gives
amazing,
him control.
but they won't give him control, and that's the problem. There's too many egos, too many people who have power trips there, and too much inadequacies above him, and so I think that's why he do bad. Not that he's a bad fit there, I think that it would be the management's just rough. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe if he, what about a weird thing where Barone leaves and he goes to Lazio? Could you see that working?
Oh God. Um.
Kind of,
Yeah, I do.
but
I
not as
think
good as
Lazio's
Atalanta,
game.
right?
Well, no, I think Lazio's a bigger club than Atalanta, but I don't think what's his name, Latito is going to give him control like that. I think he's in a great spot right now. I mean, he's the man. He's in charge.
Yeah.
Why would you want to leave that? I don't know. It's got to be a better deal. I think Roma's the only place that would give him the same control and give it a little bit bigger, a little more clout as far as
And
your
they're
club
definitely
name.
on the up and up after the work that Ranieri has done. However,
Yeah,
Roma has been mainly linked with Ancelotti. So I don't know. I
I think it's
mean,
a bad move.
yeah,
I think
I
that's a
don't
bad
think
move.
he's gonna do. I mean, I think he'll be fine there, but I mean, I just
He's,
don't know like how
he doesn't do
that's
well.
gonna work out.
He doesn't do well when he doesn't have the best team in the world. He just doesn't, man. I mean, it's a special kind of manager it takes. It's not easy to manage the best players in the world. The best players in the world are all there's a lot of egos. You got to be the right kind of guy. You got to the guys you're benching are better than are the best players on multiple teams in the world. So it's not like I'm saying this. It's not a skill. It's just I don't think his skill set works for the subhuman level.
Hmm.
He needs to have the elites. I really do. I mean, when he was on Milan, he had one of the best teams in the world.
Oh
He's
yeah,
not Robin, one of the best teams in the world. I mean, this is and I believe he's done poorly everywhere else. So I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I think that there's better choices if I'm Roma, especially for a team that's trying to take the next step and build. Maybe Ancelotti if they're coming off a Scudetto and they have a couple more stars on the team, he'd be a great guy to win a Champions League. But they're not even close to being there. They really aren't.
yeah. I don't know. Ancelotti is a very interesting one because you think should he go to the national team because he's a good tournament
That's a
coach?
yeah.
Is that what he should do at this point in his career? I think so personally. I think that's your best
Yeah.
shot at actually winning something big. Give him some years with the national team. Give him 4 years. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
I think Ancelotti definitely needs to go to the national team. I don't think Spalletti's the right guy. I never did. I think he's done better once he's kind of accepted the formation that needs to be run. But now it's not so cut and dry that we should be in that anymore based on our lack
Yeah,
of attackers. So and I don't think he knows what to do. He doesn't know how to defend well. He's never been good at that. And in tournament play, that's especially for a team like Italy. I don't care how modern you think we need to be. Italy
yeah,
needs to defend. That's we need to
yep.
defend and counterattack. That's how
Ancelotti
we
definitely has a better defensive structure than Spalletti.
Yes, yes, he understands the Italian way. So I think that's definitely my first pick for the national team all the
Hmm.
way, no doubt about it.
I agree with that. As a nice, actually easy transition, we'll go into Roma. Roma Fiorentina. This is the match I just didn't want to see because these are two teams that
Yeah,
I have just loved their progression, and I wanted both to get to their respective spots. Like I actually want Roma to be the fourth place dark horse, and I want Fiorentina to get to the Europa League. With this game happening, I knew and the fact they played in the last few matches here, I just don't see that happening anymore, which is really unfortunate. A lot of stuff has to go the right way, and that was just a match that I didn't want to see. And kind of as we called it, I think we were going tie if there was a winner, Roma, and exactly what happened. So Roma pulled it off 1-0. Dovbek gets the goal, another 1-0 the past few games have all been 1-0s, and that's basically a Dybala-less Roma just getting it done. And
yeah,
they've got a tough schedule, and they're just making it happen. 3 games left. They have a shot to get into top four. I mean, they're tied. It's mainly just about if Juve is going to mess up.
yeah. Absolutely. I think the better team won. I interesting lineup choices from Palladino. I don't know if he's you know I trying to figure stuff out. I guess I don't understand the Zaniolo thing especially as a starter.
Yeah.
He just man, I don't know.
I just don't think
Igor was
I don't think
okay.
he's I just think his career's done as like a serious player.
Yeah,
He hasn't looked
I
good
just said
anywhere he's went. He might have like one good game, like oh maybe, but I think I mean a double ACL injury, one in each knee,
yeah,
that's pretty
that's pretty
damning.
bad.
And his main
Yeah,
thing was his driving, like not that he was like some blistering pace, but man, his drive was strong. He would start at like center mid and go straight to attacking mid, super
totally.
direct,
Yep.
and he would just be a strong, powerful runner with a great booming shot. That stuff goes when your knees go.
Yeah, I think he's done some when he was with Atalanta. The couple times he came on, he had some good creative plays. Not
Yeah.
super few and far between,
He's
but I
also
mean he's
getting a
probably good at
remarkable
just
amount of
entire
service from
game.
Atalanta. Like provides so much
Yeah,
service. And there's good
yeah, everybody.
service time Fiorentina, but not like Atalanta.
Yeah, I mean, boy, Berrettini looks good there. I mean, this is the problem why this is why I didn't want a guy like Koopmeiners brought in. But it's those guys in those positions, a lot of them play well at Atalanta. But what I did see with him, his technical abilities there. He's got some good vision. I
Yeah,
just don't think he understands how to. He's got to change his game, or like you said, I think he's done. He can't play the way he's used to.
yes,
He's
exactly.
got to
He has
change it
to
up.
actually change his game enough, and I don't know if he can. I mean, so far
It's tough
he's
to do.
proven that he can't. But I mean, it is hard. He has to like choose and make an actual like a will to adapt. And I don't know if playing him in this like I thought a second striker role or something, or like an even attacking mid where like you're more like a Trequartista who doesn't have to like make any driving runs might be better. But I definitely don't like him out wide on the wings. He doesn't have that much pace, to do that anymore. But I don't know. I thought he would do better at Fiorentina than he has been. So a bit disappointing. I thought that this was gonna be like maybe the team that kind of turn him around a little bit,
He's
but
always disappointing. He's always freaking disappointing. This guy. Every
yeah,
time, everywhere he goes, he's disappointing.
yep,
And he's a chotch too. He's funny. I'm amused by him. He's a total chotch. And yeah, he's just a disappointment.
yep. I mean, Fiorentina played well. Like it was to me, it was
Yeah,
super even. They were even balanced. I thought that they were playing better than Roma. So I mean, it was a very balanced game. I think that a tie would have been totally reasonable, but Roma has the little fairy dust right now. Like they're just getting the job done somehow, and Ranieri is having his influence big time.
you
Do
know,
you think Roma
they.
gets it? Do you think Roma pulls it off and gets it over Juve, the top four
I
spot?
hope they do. I really truly hope they do. And I want to say this. I think Mancini has been playing really well.
Yeah, his best I've ever seen
Since
him.
since about January, February,
Yes.
he's been playing terrific, and he's in a very important spot. And he's, you know, I saw Indika almost cost him a goal. He's been good, man. I mean, he's actually been good.
Indika's been
So
good
I give
all
him a lot
season
of
two,
shit.
though. Yeah, Indika's been good all season two.
Yeah,
But
I don't think he played his best that game, but yeah, I mean, Mancini was very good.
I've
So
been
I'm gonna give
surprised
him
by
a lot
him.
of credit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree. I was actually gonna say something similar because he's a guy that I'm not his biggest fan. I'll never be his biggest fan. And I think that when you put him on the national team, he's a recipe for disaster, which is why he's not called up anymore. And I'm glad. I think players like that just had to go. But he's definitely been playing like a more mature version of himself the past 2 3 months, and that's really good for his future. He might turn into some nice like late bloomer who actually becomes good like the last 5 years of his career. You never know.
yeah.
So.
No,
Um,
there's in Italy, it's very common that our players are late bloomers. So especially our defenders. So yeah, it's fine. He's it's for some reason we're slow learners and especially in defense. So I think he could be becoming that, especially under the right tutelage of Ranieri and whoever comes next. Yes,
yeah,
he
I
has
did want
ability.
to.
He
Oh, go
just
ahead.
dumb things. And he just makes dumb choices. That's his big issue. That may be a maturity, that may be stupidity. We're about to find out.
Yeah, or it could be just him. But the thing I do want to say is very similar. I did not like Fiorentina's personnel choices. Formation, this is
No,
definitely the right formation, but I mean, they've got Muto Mari Hungracic, right? Was Ranieri out? I think he was, right? But
yeah, Ranieri is out. Yeah, it's
so
a big
I
loss. It's
guess you
without the
actually
depth.
kind of have to play in there. Okay, so I guess that's fine. But to not run either Fagioli or Oddly and play Richardson, I just don't think Richardson. I think he's the weakest of your entire midfield. I think
Absolutely.
Endur might be as well because he's younger. But I
Yeah.
mean, you've got to play Mondrago. He's your consistent guy. And I think you need either Fagioli or Oddly at the very least, and then you can flex that last spot. To run both of them, I thought they gave up a lot there.
The problem is Cataldi is out, I think, for the season now. Show clearly can't play in the middle for some reason. Yeah, they went with their weakest midfield in front of their weakest center backs,
So
and they still only
strange.
let up one goal. Yeah, it's this is I like Palladino a lot. I like his philosophy. I like the way he thinks. I
Yeah,
like that he's used multiple formations this
teams that
season. He's not
tactically
afraid.
figure out the right formation. Yeah.
Yeah, but he definitely has made some young coach mistakes, and I'm glad he's figuring them out here with Fiorentina. But I think this game was probably, if he could have it back, he would do it differently.
Yeah, I agree. All
I
right,
think he definitely
another.
regrets Anu.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
He
Just
shouldn't be
start Beltran.
starting. Yeah, he shouldn't be starting ever. Beltron at least works really hard.
Start Kopani up there, man. Let Kopani play there. Who cares? Let him drop deeper and help
I
out.
mean,
You know,
Kopani's had a really bad season, but so has Zaniolo. But at least Kopani doesn't have the attitude that Zaniolo has, and so he's actually a trial game most. Yeah, definitely. Why not? Why wouldn't you run him there?
yeah.
I agree with you entirely. Yeah, I don't know. Paul Dini, he's weird. Like he's done so many positive things, but then he has like, just a few games. You're like, what are you doing, man? But as you said, maybe he's getting this stuff out now, which is why I would love him to stay one more season at Fiorentina before he makes a jump
Yes.
to a big team. I don't want to have the whole Thiago Motta experience because I think if Motta had a second good season at Bologna, now you've got something built that he feels
Yeah.
confident with taking somewhere else. And I just think it's be too soon if Palladino goes.
I
I
think we
really
need to
want him
give
to stay.
people like time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all the larger clubs need to give players and coaches time to kind of work these kinks out. And I think he's done a great job and certainly high on my list.
Speaking of, kind of Malta and Juventus, obviously not there anymore, but we will get right into Juventus. So, actually, I think speaking
It's
of
almost
Bologna
like
as
he
well,
is. Yeah,
Bologna
there's no
and
difference.
Juve,
Oh man.
1-1. What did you think of this magical game?
I am. It's fortunate that Bologna didn't win this game. Juve was very lucky because I don't think
Yes,
we did anything
well
at
outplayed.
all. Yeah, completely outplayed. Most importantly, okay. And I think Conceição said this, which is kind of funny. But he said tactics don't matter when you can't win the ball. We didn't win a single loose ball, I think, for like 20 minutes at one point. They won every single loose ball.
Guys are
Freuler's
more
goal was
hungry, man.
case in point. Yeah, exactly. The Freuler goal. I mean, it's if you just look at it, it's just
Yeah.
it goes from stupid decisions, poor positioning, but the main thing is there was like three opportunities to get the ball out of the box and nobody wanted it. It's like, man, how do you guys show up? Like, you only have to play 90 minutes a week. Your practices are like a joke. You're out there giggling and kicking the ball around. It's not
Well,
even a
and they
hard
have
practice.
nothing else left this season.
Yeah.
And for Juve, like it's a very serious team, and despite the fact that we both want them to do an actual rebuild and not get top four because I think it's better for them in the long run. I mean, their management, everybody around that club is probably pushing like hell to get them in the top four, and this is the type of performance you get. I mean, Bologna is Bologna. Like they're doing great this season, yes, but it's embarrassing that it's this close against a team like Bologna when Juve is used to being Scudetto either champions or contenders every single year, and to see this type of Juve.
This is the worst Juve I've ever seen, and I've watched this in the post Calciopoli era. This is a Juventus team that's totally disinterested. These players don't give a shit. They don't. They're you know when Savona just walks into your defense and hasn't played, I don't think, a game in a long time, and he's your
He's a
best
kid.
defender, that's a
Kid.
problem. He's a kid, man. He doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't even played that spot
He's
before,
playing the left
and he's out
side.
playing the other
He's playing
guys. He's
left
out
left
playing the
center
other
back.
guys.
I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on, but he had to play it. It's like
Why would you put the kid on the left? You can't put Kalulu on
you
the
can
left. I
definitely
mean,
put
what the
Kalu on the
hell,
left.
dude?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course you can, dude. He's going to be out of position and miss mark on the left just as much as on the right. No worries at all.
strange.
Same exact performance out of Kalulu you're going to get every time. Gonna make a couple slide tackles and bomb a bunch of positional
Yeah, how he
responsibilities.
was on Milan is you would always count him to maybe do like first season, first half season. He was remarkable. I think he was incredibly humble, and he wasn't confident in himself, and so he was just really good. And I actually thought he was incredibly mature. Now, and that was the Scudetto season. Also, there are a lot of nice factors around the team working with. Second season is what you see from Clua now. He'll let up 1 to 2 chances a game, and one of those two chances is either going to be a goal scoring opportunity, and it's just whether or not the team buries, right? That's going to happen every game. You can count on him to be responsible for one solid chance. Yeah,
Oh
you're
yeah.
going to get the same performance. So why don't you just put him over there, put someone where he's comfortable, let the kid grow into his role? I don't know about that. I think that Tudor's done a good job at managing the team in general. I think he's going to get them to top four. But yeah, a couple weird choices overall.
Honestly, it doesn't even matter who you put in. This is the whole argument I think we had with the whole Thiago Motta firing things. Like, it doesn't matter. These players are what they are. They're low character, low effort. I mean, you're making millions of dollars. You can't show up for 90 minutes. Do and you know that your job staying in Torino as a player on this club might be affected by not having Champions League money to keep you here,
Yeah.
to keep you
Yep.
here. You can't put in a 90-minute shift. That's really not that much to ask. I mean, people work a lot harder, 8-hour a day shifts every fucking day. They don't have one game a week. They put in an 8-hour shift. You want to go work on an assembly line? How hard that is? There's a lot of people who have a lot of harder jobs than you guys and making a lot less money. Can you not show up for 90 fucking minutes and win a ball? It's
Yeah,
it's it's pretty
strange.
pathetic to watch, and you know, I watch a lot of these games while I'm working and stuff like that. Because I'm fortunate to have a job where I can watch games while I'm working. But like this game, I was sitting on the couch. It was what, Sunday. A bunch of my daughter's events got canceled, so I had time to really sit there and like immerse myself in it. Man, what a disappointment! Like I wasted like 90 minutes of my time for this crap.
Yeah, the effort level
So
is just
yeah.
wild.
I was at one point. I was just rooting for Bologna. I'm like, hey, they at least want to win. Let's just good. I hope these guys get it. Good for them.
No, right?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just wild, man.
I'm not rooting for a bunch of losers. And like, Thuram looked good in the beginning. He totally faded out. It's just Kolo Muani's throwing himself all over the ground, faking fouls. It's embarrassing. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah, I
Sell them
mean,
all.
and even though like yeah, Trump faded, especially in the second half, like you still it's weird, still living off of kids, and it's something that we talked about
Yeah.
on the dive. Like you shouldn't spend 300 mil, and your best players are kids. Like Field is at least in the first half of the season was probably your best player. Turam in the rest of the season has probably been the best player, him or and at times Locatelli. But I mean, these are your best players. It's crazy. Like this is not you.
You spent all that money, and your best defender is since Bremer's been out has been Gatti.
Yeah, who
Okay,
came
and I
from like
I think
Serie B or
Gatti's
something
a
like that. I'm not sure where he
yeah, I
came from.
think Gatti's a good third option. I don't think he's a starting center. He's absolutely been our best center back since Bremer's gone down.
Yeah,
No doubt about it. That's not good. You spent 300 million. Our best midfielder consistently throughout the season has been Locatelli. I also consider him a third midfielder.
yeah.
That's
Or
not good.
or Turam, who's a kid.
Trump's a kid. He's a 22-year-old kid that's it's
First
his first
season
time in a
in
club.
Italy, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Best attacker has
right
been
forward has
Yildiz.
been Yildiz, who's
It's
already been. These
it's a
guys have already
child.
been here.
Yeah.
He signed none of these guys except for Turam, who signed himself. Basically, been after him for multiple seasons. He's son of a club legend. It's like, what has this guy done and spent this money on? And furthermore, like you don't, if you guys think a coach is going to come in at a halfway point of a season and motivate a bunch of guys in a multi-millionaires in a locker room with speeches and catchphrases and
Yeah.
platitudes,
No.
you're kidding yourself. That's not
No,
how it
you just gotta
works.
buy. You gotta buy the right guys who buy into the system, right? It's gotta start as an overall project, right? Like kind of what Conte's doing at Napoli. Like, yes, there's a lot of guys that have stayed, but most of that team, especially the character guys, are his guys, right? Yes, you have Lobotka, but Bruno is a guy that he brought in. Scott McTominay is a guy he brought in. Lukaku is a guy he brought in. Like these are guys that he brought in because he knew, yes, they're quality players, but they have a character that he wants to represent in his team. You don't see that at all from Juve. Like who could you really say on that team that they bought? They were gonna give Mota this building time. There was not a building time.
Sounds
Who
no
the
building.
heck was a Mota guy that like Mota was like, this is my fucking guy? Was it actually Coop
Nobody.
Miners or is
It
that
was Coop.
just who? Yeah, was that actually guy he wanted or was that Juntali?
No. So Jude had been after Coop for multiple years. People say it's a Malta thing because people want to blame Malta for everything. Okay, let's establish before, but I have to preface this. I did not want Malta here. I did not think he was the right guy for the job. I did not like Thiago Malta. I don't think Thiago Malta did nearly as bad of a job as everyone think. But Thiago Malta did not have a say in transfers. He had, hey, I like this guy. Cool, let me try for him. That's about all he had. Coop Miners was wanted by Juntali for a long time. Coop Miners was. You don't bring in guys that are low character, that are unathletic, to lead your team. Same with Douglas Luiz. And Luiz, I think, is a better player, right? Way more technical ability. But he's slow. He's not a leader, a captain. Who do they bring in for all this money to lead the team? Nico Gonzalez. He's just, he's fast. He puts in a good shift. He's not some amazing player that's going to be a captain and a leader. Look who Napoli brought in. Scott McTominay. He's got character in spades. No one thought he wasn't on anyone's radar.
Nobody's read it at all.
That's
Yep.
that guy's a winner. That guy is he's smart. He fights for the entire every second he's on the pitch.
He's in the
He's
right
covering his
spot.
man.
Goes up when you
Yeah.
need him to. Yeah, that's a character sign.
Buongiorno, captain, leader. Even for a young kid, captain, leader, plays with tons of character, and he's a big personality out there.
Yep.
Excellent player, better than Calafiore. That's who every team should have been going for. No one wanted him.
Lukaku, character signing
Lukaku.
as well. Amazing hold up play. Awesome teamwork. Yeah.
Yep, that's who you signed. Spinazzola, Euro champion, excellent, top class
Top
player,
class player when he's healthy. Seriously, really is.
quality, true class
Yep.
player. This is who they signed, and we're spending double the money, and we're getting a third of the
On
production.
unproven talents.
Yeah, this is a telltale sign that your sporting director is a dunce and needs to leave, and he's ruining the club. This
Yep.
is the look at this lineup, dude.
Oh, I
Look at
know.
how
No, we
bad
we
this
we
is.
we've done this in the past, and it holds. It really holds weight. I just want people to do that exercise. Go look at the even lineup and really tell me how many people you keep. Maybe one. You probably keep Turam because he's a good piece for the future. Who the heck else on that team would you keep? Like Diego Royo's
Tell me how
fine,
many
but he's not
people would have
great.
lasted. How many people would have been on our 2010, 2011 teams that were just starting to turn things around? I'm not even
Nobody.
going to talk about the early 2000 teams,
Nobody.
or yeah, none of them, not a
You know,
single one of them.
Turam and Loca would be subs. You know, Diego Royo would be like a sub. That's where you get nobody be a starter.
No, this is bad.
Yep.
This is bad. Yeah, the only thing about Di Gregorio is when we do sign a better um, keeper, he'll be a good backup, and he's on a good contract. So that
Yeah,
was one of the
yeah.
better
Well, he
deals.
also wasn't that expensive. I mean, honestly, the
Right.
cheaper signings were all the better ones, right? I mean,
Of course.
Turam was 20 mil or less. Di Gregorio was around 20 mil. Like those are not. You're not going to break the bank. You're not going to lose your ass off of those signings, and they were their best signings.
It's
It's not really that hard. I really think that when you break the bank, you need to be going for somebody who's either got top class potential, like it's like the signing everybody wants to get for the future, or this person's already a proven winner many times over. They're
you
not just
know
like a one off like flash in the pan season type of guy.
the
Those are the only
problem
two
is
things you can do.
the problem is with those top guys that everyone wants. That was Coop Miners and Louise, even though no other teams were looking at them. So that should
That's
be a
to tell you
telltale
everything.
sign.
Yeah, that's what I
Our
mean though.
fans they were so hard for them, dude. It was like, oh my god, these are the best players in their teams in their league. No, they weren't. They weren't even the best players on their teams. Like it's showing, and it's
Yeah,
scouting talent is a very difficult skill. Not a lot of people have it. When you have a good sporting director, it makes a major difference. And there's a ton of different ways to spend nearly $300 million. I think it was like 285, and
right.
if we executed all the options and stuff. So I hate to beat a dead horse here, but it really is a dead
This is the
horse,
battle of the
and it
sporting
needs
directors,
fusion.
right? You got probably the best sporting director in Italy is with Sartori. People can argue
Yeah,
maybe like Pepe, but you basically the best one at Bologna and the worst one at Juve. But yeah,
yeah.
well,
Well, you see the
is what you
difference.
get. I don't know. Do you think Juve is gonna get it, or Bologna is gonna get it, or Roma? I mean, I don't know, man. Who do you think
Bologna
is
has
gonna
a
pull
tough
this
road.
off? A very
I
tough
think
road.
Bologna, yeah, I don't think Bologna is going to get it. I think they have a too tough of a road. I think Roma's going to get it, and I hope they do. They deserve it, and I think it'd be a beautiful achievement for Ranieri. And
That'd be a
he
wonderful swan
honestly,
song, wouldn't it be?
man, if it plays out like we think, and Napoli are able to pull up the Scudetto, and Roma are able to put off a Champions League position, it's a really tough choice for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, yeah, it actually is.
It's an impossible
But
choice.
that's a
I
good
mean,
thing. That's a good thing. I'd be
yeah,
excited for
we're
that to
gonna have to
happen.
split our votes on that because that's ridiculous, dude. What a great job Ranieri's done. Absolutely incredible.
Yep.
What a great job Conti's done. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, that's been the best part to watch here. And like I think we said about the Roma, about Dybala going down and Sule stepping up, and man, it's cool to see these good teams. And
It's the same thing at
yeah,
Napoli. Good coaches do this. Like Neres was on fire, and he went
yeah,
down, and then Napoli fell off for a bit. But now they're coming
mhm,
back. The guys have figured it out. Conte's got them playing without Cavara, without Neres. He's got them playing again, just like when Dybala went down. Ranieri's found a way to make that work. So this is what good coaches do. They bring up the guys who need to be brought up, and then make shit happen. So
and they bring
yeah,
in guys who are proper character guys. They know who they're starting. They know who they're not. Certain guys just aren't going to play. Especially, Ranieri had a much bigger, dirtier roster than
yes,
Conte had a very thin roster. So he's really just had to make choices that just had to make. With Ranieri, it was like there's certain players that just aren't touching the field. And he
oh,
doesn't care. Like these guys aren't my guys. You're not playing.
staple guys too, like
Yeah,
Pellegrini,
yeah. He barely
Cristante.
plays.
Dante barely touches the field now. He's played like a couple games recently, but all season, even there
Yep,
almost
same with Pellegrini.
nothing.
Barely plays.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So All right, we'll round out the week. Milan, Genoa. Um, a classic this year Milan comeback because it seems to happen
Can't say wow.
all the time here. Milan played terrible. They played absolutely terrible. Genoa was probably the better team most of the game. Brief windows, Milan looked decent, but they looked quite bad this whole game. Their two goals were a deflection goal off of a poor layout shot, but it deflected in, and then an own goal from Friendship. He was marking, I forget who, he was, probably I think Jimenez, and then it just bounced off his foot, flicked off it. He was trying to clear it, and
Damn.
it went. So that's kind of what they get. But Milan has had a lot of fortune in these kind of late comeback games. They are weirdly enough still, not that I think they actually are in contention for it, but they're still in contention for top four technically. They're 6 points back, so that's 2 games. They got 3 games left. You just never know, but I don't think so. And they've got, I think, 2 games against Bologna. They got the Coppa finals against them and a league game. So you're going to be seeing double Milan Bologna games up next. I think Milan Bologna plays on this Friday, so a couple days, and then next
Damn.
Wednesday is the Coppa final against Bologna. So you're going to be seeing Milan Bologna twice. And so I don't know if they're going to split honors there, and one team's going to win in Serie A, one's going to win in Coppa, or one team is going to kind of make the other one have a bad season or have a bad end of the season. Because right now, with where they sit in the table, Bologna 62, Milan 57.
Mm,
Milan can't surpass Bologna in the league, but that would end Bologna's chance, I believe, at Champions League. Not technically, but it really should. So
God.
huge stuff coming up for those two teams.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be fun at least.
Yeah,
It just
it'll be fun. I don't know.
I'm just gonna see Conceição dancing for his meaningless fucking trophy. That's what I want to see.
It's probably gonna happen. It's probably
No
gonna
one gives
happen,
a
man.
shit about the Copa. I'm so sick of people like, oh, we got a trophy. Who cares? It's a
They've
Copa.
conditioned people that I
Yeah,
think I said it last time. So, they've
crazy.
Cardinale and Redbird have won. That they have conditioned Milan fans to think that Coppa Italia and a Super Coppa is okay. Two meaningless trophies that get you nothing but Europa League, which is if Milan is fighting for Europa League, you failed. And it's not like this is Milan of years ago where they were, finishing way out of European places. This is a Milan who recently won a Scudetto and has been qualifying top four each season for the past several seasons. And a couple of years ago went to the Champions League semifinals. This is not the same Milan as the banter era Milan. It's not acceptable anymore to go Europa League, but somehow they've got fans buying up jerseys still, filling the stadiums, and it's sad because I just have a feeling that I'm going to have to watch this crap for years to come because they're going to do just
You
well
are.
enough to satisfy the masses, just well enough, and they're going to do well enough marketing to make a ton of cash. And Cardinale and his guys are just not going to leave. And I don't know what I'm going to do because I can't watch too many more seasons of this crap.
I mean,
And
Mike, this is why most of
meaningless,
our friends don't watch anymore,
emotionless.
dude. I mean, we know guys that were heavily integrated in the Milan system,
Yeah.
that moved here and set up AC Milan systems here in the States. They don't even watch this crap anymore. They don't know what this team is anymore, and it's been like this for a few years for them. Even when they were doing well, they just don't. It's
Why they're
this
reaching
is
out to all
this
the
is
new
where
fans.
Juve is going to be. This is why I'm so adamant about how I am with Juve. I've already seen this happen to Milan, and they've won a Scudetto recently. And
Yeah.
who cares? No one. It doesn't matter. This is look what a disaster this is. And this isn't a bad roster. This just goes to show you
No,
can't
no.
just
On,
slap
on
a
on
bunch of
paper,
mercenaries on a field.
it's decent. Like they actually have like about 5 to 6
Yeah,
truly quality players there.
yeah. You don't just buy players and throw them on a team. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And this is case in point.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
if you
always
look at their
adamant
roster,
about
like
culture.
if you look at the roster on paper and don't think of any type of cohesion, chemistry, stuff like that, Milan's probably get what the second or third best roster in Serie A
I think they got the
technically.
second best roster in Serie. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely the second best roster in
So
Serie. I mean,
like
with Teo, Magnan, Teo, Leao, and
Gabia,
Pulisic. Yeah,
Pulisic,
Gabia's okay. I don't love
I think he's
Gabia.
underrated personally.
Reinders has
Yeah,
been.
Reinders.
I think he's underrated. Yeah, yeah. But I wouldn't put him in that list of like this is why they're so good. I mean, they have the second best roster alone in those 5 players that we just mentioned. Those are 5 players that would be the best
Yeah,
players on a lot
in
of
winter
teams.
they bring in Walker, Joao. I mean, say what you
Yeah,
will about Joao Felix, he was still a massive name, and just bring him for a little bit. It's
yeah.
so. I mean, I don't know. It's wild.
I like Jimenez.
Jimenez.
Who knows what's wrong with his brain, but I like him.
Well, did you
I
hear
mean,
what they said recently? So he came out with
no,
it was like a post that's not. He was just saying, he goes, on Feyenoord, he goes, the team would all eat together, we'd all kind of bond, we have camaraderie. He's like, I'm basically just eating and chilling alone right now. It's like there's no camaraderie. It's
sucks,
kind of what he
man.
said. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, is this culture is that broken?
Yeah,
That
it is.
that
That's
that
what he said.
that, that makes
Wow.
sense. Dude. He looks like he's on a fucking
Yep.
island. He's just fighting. Like,
Yep.
he's just totally isolated. And I don't know what's going on, but this is what happens when you got
It's
guys like
ridiculous.
Teo and Magnan. And I mean, Magnan is not like the type of character that Teo is. Don't get me, they're way different.
There's
But
there's
these
there's
aren't
no culture,
captains. These
man.
aren't leaders. Yeah, there's no culture. So like, of course he's gonna feel dissociated and not integrated. Very
Yeah,
strange.
it's and that's really uh yeah, that's important that we actually brought that point up. I didn't know that. And I'm sure that happens at a lot of these new clubs now. And this is just what happens when you got a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures that don't relate to each other, and they just go to work and go home, go their separate ways.
Yeah, it's just
It's
strange. Strange because I
yeah,
actually think he's I think he's a smart player. He's a bit of like a feisty guy. He's a bit of like a shithouser too. Weirdly enough, I think
yeah.
he's actually built for Serie A. I think he'll do well if he gets service. You put that guy on Atalanta, I guarantee he's getting a lot of goals. Guaranteed.
He was bought at the right price. I think he's got the right mentality. I
Yeah,
think he's going to come good.
Milan's just a
And he
strange
started
team.
out well. They're not a team. They're just
No,
some assembly of players wearing Milan shirts. I say this about Juve all the time. There's just a bunch of kids wearing Juventus jerseys for Halloween.
the
They're,
problem with Jimenez
they're
is
not a
he's
team.
not like he is a striker who needs service. He's smart and he can finish well. That's it. He's
Yeah.
not some guy who's going to come back, link the play. He doesn't have burning pace. He doesn't have burning strength. He's decent at these things, but that's when you need a team to work with
Mm.
him. And Milan is not a team.
He played really hard at Feyenoord. I liked the way he played a
Miner was
lot.
a team, worse, but they were an actual
Yeah.
team. Like he needs a team. So,
You want to fight for when you're a team, you don't want to let your teammates down. You want to fight for them.
yep.
Here it's like they just let each other down so much. It's like, yeah, whatever. And who cares?
Let's go into the
Yeah,
week
what a shame.
36 preview, and then we'll do Champions League conversation
Yeah.
and call it a day. All right. So, preview of week 36. Man, um, we're getting down
Okay.
to it. Only a few games left. Let's start from the top here. We got Milan, Bologna. Who wins in Serie A? Who wins in the Coppa?
I think that Milan's going to win both games. I
Yeah, I
just don't
have a
have any
bad
faith
feeling
in
about it.
Italiano, and I want to. We had a good combo today on the dive about Italiano, and yes, they're right that he has gotten more pragmatic, but he's still Italiano. I just don't believe him. Until he proves me wrong, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm
And as much
I
as I
I
want
my
Milan to
gut
lose,
tells me to mirror your sentiments. But what I'm gonna say is either tie or Bologna pulls it off in Serie A and but Milan wins Coppa and they celebrate the the,
Milan's
the, the
winning
double
Copa for
trophy.
sure. Milan's winning Copa. Their quality will come out the Copa because players give a shit. The Syria game, I just don't know.
The
I
only
just you
thing
never
is it's
know.
at Milan. So it's the
Do they
game against
care?
Bologna
They
is
care
at
more.
Milan. Fans do.
Do-
They'll create a better
Yeah, but
atmosphere.
do the players give a shit about the atmosphere?
Probably not.
Probably not.
All right.
No, you never know. I think they're a better team.
Oh yeah. No, I mean on paper, as you're saying.
Yeah.
Como Cagliari
Como has been
at home for
on the
Como.
up and up. Como's got it.
Como
Two to
2-1.
0. Okay.
Lazio Juve at Lazio.
Wonder one.
Big game. This
So
is probably
one.
gonna mess one team up right now.
Lazio got totally screwed the last time these two teams played, and they almost held on. It was a very lucky deflection goal off of a Cabal. It was a shitty Cabal cross too. Super lucky, but a complete bullshit call on Romagnoli that cost them. They got an early red card in that game. So if Lazio's not fired up for this one, then shame on them.
I think Lazio wins it 2-1. I was gonna say
I hope
tie.
so.
I think Lazio wins it, which would they're tied on 63 points. So Lazio and Juve both have
Yeah.
63. I think this shakes up the table a ton, and I don't know. Maybe this is when Roma could kind of slip into the fourth place, but I think that this is going to be a Lazio win. Close game. I could definitely see a draw, but I think if a team wins, I'm going to call Lazio as the winners. I wouldn't have
I
said
just,
that a few weeks ago, but Juve with the defense they have and how sloppy that is. I mean, yeah, Lazio's sloppy
yeah.
just in general as a team, but I'm gonna go Lazio.
If I'm Barone, I think I'm going to win the midfield battle if I go with the three-man midfield. I really think if he goes with
Yes.
Bellahain or whatever, Rovella and Guendouzi, like we're saying, that midfield will dominate Juventus. Those three players alone match them on work rate. They beat them in tackling statistically too. So whatever your
And
opinion
ball
is,
distribution.
yeah, and way better vision in ball distribution. So yeah, I think that midfield wins. 2-on-2, I think you still got better distribution, you still got better tackling, but you just don't have an overwhelming victory
Yeah.
there. I think that that I would just go for an overwhelming midfield victory, and that's how I would line them up against Juventus if I'm trying to um, dethrone them from fourth place. I think Lazio can absolutely beat them. They're grittier.
Yeah.
It's the key to beating Juventus, and it's been this way all season. It's just outwork them, and they're easily outworked. So I think they need to get some revenge from what happened earlier in the season. But I do think it's going to be a 1-1 game. I just don't think Lazio is going to ever live up to the expectations that I have for them. I
Yeah.
really like their team. I like their roster, but they always seem to let us down.
I'm at odds
I think
with
it's
my own opinion because I was saying they're the team I just want to have faith in pulling it off, but I just have a feeling they're going to win
yeah.
this game. I think they'll fail in the end, but they're going to win this game.
I hope you're
Empoli,
right.
Parma. Empoli is in relegation drop zone. If they win a game, though, they get out of it. Parma is
I think
free
Italy
and
wins.
clear. I think Empoli wins as well, 1-0.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. 1-0.
Going to be a very interesting bottom of the table. Udinese and Monza. Monza, awful team. I'm just
Oh
going to call it
Jesus.
Monza loss. Udinese 2-1 or 2-0.
No, Monza's gonna shock win 1
Oh
nothing
yeah, I
Monza.
forgot. I have to call Monza to win every game. All right, Monza's gonna win. Their first win here
Shock
in a
win.
long time. Yeah, 1-0.
Shock.
Lecce Verona. Lecce is in the drop zone. Verona is not. Lecce, or sorry, they're 1 point clear of the drop zone.
Lecce's been playing well, man. Lecce
I know.
is they don't have a ton of talent on that team, but they play fucking hard and they got a couple decent enough players.
Yeah,
It's I like Lecce. I'm going with Lecce.
I could see a Lecce win or a draw. I'm gonna go 1-1 draw. Inter Torino at Torino.
Eh, Inter 1 nothing.
I think Inter wins a close game, 2-1.
Yeah, scrape and three. That looks great.
Napoli Genoa. I think Napoli is very similar. I think they pull off a 1-0. Genoa's feisty team. They do not
Yeah,
have a good attack, which is kind of what you saw today against Milan. That was the thing about Genoa's. I don't know where their goals come from. Their goal came from Vitinha off the bench, who scored immediately. That's his first goal all season, I believe. So like
yeah,
that's how bad Genoa is in attack. So I don't see
yeah.
the goals coming from anywhere. I think it's gonna be a 1-0.
I totally agree.
Venezia Fiorentina. I think Fiorentina gets back on track. They win. They
Yes,
stay in the hunt. Maybe 2-0 or 3-1. I think they're strong before.
I'm going 2-0. I think they're gonna get the shutout.
The other massive game of this week, there's three of them. You got Milan Bologna, Lazio Juve, Atalanta Roma is how we end this.
I love this game. I love this game, and I think that Roma wins 2-1.
Roma wins. Definitely. They win by 1 goal. This is a massive game. And man, this is gonna be a hell of a week. This might be one of the best, most
This will be fun.
intense
Yeah.
weeks out there.
Yes.
Weird enough,
Well,
like
I
the
mean,
both Scudetto teams don't have crazy points, but everybody else for top four, crazy.
yeah. I mean, Bologna, Lazio, Juventus, Roma, Atalanta. I mean, they're all in the fight for Champions League
Yeah.
spot. For Fiorentina, it's outside chance here. Um, and then Napoli. They have to win out basically. I
Yeah.
mean, we could say they have a little stumble. So everything matters right now, and I love it. And this is part of the advantage of having a title that's won based on your season games as opposed to going to a playoff because these games matter so much.
Look at
That's
the
cool.
the points tally. So Napoli 77. Inter. I guess we're done with the week review, so we'll do this thing on Champions
Yeah.
League. Napoli 77. Inter 74. Atalanta kind of sitting alone at 68 points. They're not going to get second and probably not going to get fourth.
Mhm.
Juve 63. Roma 63. Lazio 63.
Yeah.
Bologna 62. That's four
Mhm.
teams within a point of each other. And then you got Bologna, Fiorentina at 59, which is within 1 game of Bologna. But then now, with them losing that last game, they're 2 games away from fourth. So Bologna, they're basically out of that one. And then Milan, 57 points, technically 2 games away as well. Below that, nobody else kind of matters, but still, it's wild. You've got from fourth to ninth within 6 points of each other, and from fourth to seventh in one. Nuts
By the
stuff.
way, Como's on a 5-game winning streak. And they're in 10th place. They have surpassed Genoa, Udinese, and Torino.
Yeah, I know. Como
Good fucking
Como's going to be a
job.
serious team because they had, I think, what they're like the as far as money goes, they're like one like the top 2 or 3 richest
Yeah,
owners like in all world football.
dude.
They live in a celebrity driven place, a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Um, I actually think that Como in a couple
People
years
love
is
celeb.
going to be like a serious team.
I think it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. I mean, it's a weak Serie A, truly. So let me just see something real quick. Here, you can babble on, but about something while I look this up because I'm trying to prove a theory that I have.
Well, you go into that, and I'm
I
I'm gonna actually do a little review here of or get into the
yeah.
little Champions League because there's not much coming besides one big game for us tomorrow. Technically today with how they were doing this one, this
Okay,
type of
so
thing. You
Golda
good?
Goldaniga
Yeah.
has been playing extremely well. He's their defender.
Used to be on Palermo, I believe.
Kaker, no, this is Como.
No, he
Kakare.
used to be on Palermo.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I like the other guy. I think he's injured. Docena. He's been having a very good season. He's only at 25 years old, by the way. Docena. Kakare. Ikone. Paz. Petrone's been playing hard. Excellent. Good.
Dial, man, what a
Diao,
signing!
yeah.
Asan Dial is
Yes.
a hell of a signing.
Amazing. Amazing. He was out for this one. Yeah. So they have some good pieces there. Um, and they have some good pieces now that are gonna be foundational and last and get
Yep.
better. I really like the Kakare pickup. Uh, and
Yes.
obviously Paz is awesome. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. They definitely have some money and they made a lot of moves.
Oh, they made
And
a ton of moves. Like they're not slowing down. I mean, but
their
yeah,
scouting is good.
they signed Diao for somewhere around like 10 mil, right? I'm sure his value's almost tripled. What's his current season goals? And this we're talking about a half season. In Serie A,
It
he's
doesn't
played
matter. They've been effective.
he's played
He's been
15 games. He's got 8 goals
That's amazing.
as a
Yeah, that's actually
19-year-old
pretty
kid.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like they got
their
some good
scouting is good.
scouting, man.
This is what we're talking about when like this is a good sporting director. See, this guy good.
Yeah,
Guys that
they've got a young
no one related.
coach in Fabregas who's
Mhm.
got ideas. Keep him there. Let him grow with Como for a couple years.
Yeah, just freshly promoted and they're up in 10th and they've taken down some big fish. They had some big scores. They played excellent against big time teams, so they're not just getting blown out. They're giving tough games. Their home atmosphere is excellent. It's a tough place to play. I really like what they're doing, and I don't want to
Yeah.
like comics. I don't give a shit about celebrities. I think it's cheesy, but hey, man, they got the cash there. Then they got I like what they're building. So
Yep. All
good on
right.
them.
Let's break into the Champions League stuff before we close out here.
Yeah,
All right. Inter, Barcelona, game one, 3-3. Kind of a crazy game. I didn't think it'd be that many goals, but I mean, Inter came out with a really strong start. Getting a few goals early on. Thuram in the first minute. Dumfries 21. I mean, they had 2-0 lead. Yamal caught him. Ferran Torres caught back up, and then a couple late goals from each of them, and boom. I think the fair result was actually 3-3. Barcelona, of course, they're going to dominate possession. They're going to look better. They had a ton of shots on target, and honestly, early on, like Yamal was hitting crossbars. I mean, Barcelona looked like they were firing, but eventually, once they weathered the storm, it did settle down. I mean, I wonder how Inter's going to do back home. I think they'll do better. My prediction was Inter would tie away from home and win by 1 goal back at home. So I'm going to still hold with that. What do you think?
yeah. I think you're spot on. I think Inter win. I like I think that Inter style works a lot better against teams that aren't as tactically sound. Barcelona has a lot of skill, a lot of very high octane. They take a lot of chances and a lot of risks, and that's exactly what Inter wants them to do. I wish Inter defended better. I know it's a big task defending against Barcelona, but like, come on. So if they get their act together and just can play one disciplined defensive game, that would be great. And they just need it next. What is it? Wednesday the game's on.
Today,
It's today.
Tuesday, which I
Technically
mean,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Oh no shit! They
Tuesday,
played
yeah.
it. Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right
I mean,
now.
they can absolutely do it. They have a better team, in my opinion, in terms of experience and class. Barcelona's exciting and young and fun, and be good for the years to come because they're built really well as
Yep.
well. But I think that Inter is ready right now to have their victory before it all implodes.
Yeah.
They have to. They have to.
I mean, Barcelona is my favorite built foreign team right now because they're
Yeah.
built, and we say this is exactly how I want Milan to be built. They national team core, like they have a Spanish core there and world class top talent. Rafinha, like Lewandowski, like De Jong. That's how I would like Milan to be built. So Barcelona, if Inter doesn't win it, Barcelona is a team that I'm pushing for. Yeah, I know that they got more Champions Leagues and this team and that team, and they could catch Milan. I don't really care. I just like how they're built, and I like what it means. So if Inter doesn't win it, I'm pulling for them.
The
However,
recipe's there.
I think Inter is going to win. I will say one thing: I don't watch a lot of La Liga these days. I basically am just watch a lot of Serie A, and then I watch the Champions League national team. But first time I've seen an entirely full game of Yamal. I've just seen bits and pieces. It's remarkable, like truly remarkable. He almost never loses the ball when he's about to. His decision making to actually hold it and make a good pass or a good play is excellent. This dude's definitely gonna be a superstar. He's quite remarkable.
I
I
mean,
was very
in a
impressed.
in a world where no one can play defense and no one can touch you, I think he's well built for it.
No, I mean, but honestly, even though that there's plenty of players who have skills, but I actually thought his like decision making and how he like delivers balls, it was the next thought. I thought it was excellent. I haven't seen too much of it, and it was cool to see like a top notch player play, very well when they're in really good form. But something I will say is he's already had 100 games for Barca. Like this is what you do with your talented kids: play them. And
Dude, their whole
yes,
team's all these young kids on their team. They're always playing them, man.
that's why Barcelona is awesome because they do this type of stuff. Like
Yeah.
take Milan's like supposedly future gem, right? Marta. He's gotten like crap garbage minutes, 2 minutes here and there, 5 minutes here and there. Play him. He's not going to be good for a little while, but he needs to learn what it feels like to play an entire game, not get shit on, and then play the next one, and then play the next one until he has the confidence to grow. Throw his body around there, do his thing, feel what it feels like to fail out there, have a bad game, then have a good one, then build on that, and then you get there. If Camarda had 100 games starting for Serie A, he'd probably be way farther ahead than what he is right now. This season, he's been mismanaged. And yes, it's not just about Milan, but this is what you see in Serie A. This is why they don't have these world class talents. They're not playing them and willing to go through a couple rough games. You got one bad game as a kid, you're benched. That's a problem
Problem is
in the Serie A.
they think they have world class talents though. Like they're benching him for Abraham and for who was it before they picked up Jimenez? I mean, they're benching him for those guys. It's like
Morata,
you're
Jovic. I
not.
mean, like
Yeah, Morata wasn't a good fit on Milan. Like come on. Wait, you're sitting him for those guys. It's not like you're sitting him because he's got a Lukaku in front of him that's the talisman of the team and a good leader and you got to replace him. Or like Sule, people are like, oh look at Sule sucks. He's not even playing. It's like, hey, sit behind Dybala, man. I mean, he's the best player in Serie A,
yeah.
arguably. So look at him now. He's doing great. He's getting consistent playing time. His first game was a little rough. His second game was a little bit better. Now his third game, fourth game. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. No one saw that coming. It's like, yeah, because he's getting consistent time in minutes. This is just the nature of the beast. And it's a problem that Italian teams have. We have a real big problem with our own homegrown players, especially if they're Italian. We just don't want them. And it is a self-loathing culture, no doubt about it.
No,
It's like
they're not
very
willing
big.
to like even give somebody like some time to grow. Like, we
No,
saw it with Fagioli this year at Juve, and Fagioli is actually already a decent player. Like I would say, a good player actually. He started to have a string of like 2 bad games. See you later. Like what? And then he's just gone. It's just
yeah, he
crazy.
was absolutely our best midfielder before he had one bad game, and then they benched him for like 5 straight games, and he had another bad game, and then when
That's
he
it.
came on
Done.
because he was getting garbage minutes, and yeah, and then he was gone. It's we have a problem here with hating our own people, and it takes an excellent coach to not give a shit what the fans think and just do what he knows is right. Fans don't know what they're talking about. That's why they're fans. If they knew what they were talking about, they'd be in better spots. Okay, there's a few exceptions to that rule. That's it. If you're a great coach, you know what you're doing. You shouldn't give a crap about what people say or what your sporting director says. I thought it was ridiculous too. At one point in the season, they were saying they had like a meeting with Moten trying to tell him who to start. This is just insane.
Awesome.
You
Right.
got to play your young guys. You got to give them consistent playing time, and it really, really helps too if you play them around good people. So
All right,
yeah, man.
that's where we'll end it. We'll see. This is a massive week coming up here. You've got Champions
Nah.
League, Conference League. Oh, I guess Conference League. Do you think Fiorentina is going to pull it off?
Mm.
I actually okay. I want them to. I don't think they pull it off. I think they tie the game, and that's going to be a loss
What,
to Betis. They lost 2-1 to Betis at Betis. I really hope they pull it off.
yeah,
I think they're going to draw them like maybe 2-2, and it's not going to be enough. But I would love them to prove me wrong because I love Fiorentina is my kind of secondary team. So,
yeah.
what do you think? Do you think they're gonna pull it off? Not what you want, but if you do that, that's
They
cool.
can.
I would love it. But
Nah, I mean, I think it's going to be a draw. I think they could do
you
it.
think it's similarly?
They can score goals.
Oh yeah,
Fiorentina can definitely score goals. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
I think they should run Fagioli, Mondragora, and Adli because they need a score, and I think you need that. I think you need to let Adli go a little more forward and let him be a little more free while you have both Mondragora and Fagioli sitting back a little. I think that's what needs to
Who
happen. I
tackles?
think you got to run Fagioli in that like regista role. Nobody tackles really. I mean, like who they have like right now, Robinson's not
Mondragora is
great.
an excellent.
Yeah,
Mondragora is a great tackler, but he's. I like where he's playing right now.
That's his spot.
Fajoli
Just
can
put Fagioli in
tackle.
the
Yeah,
hole.
yeah, you're
Put
right.
Fagioli
Yep,
in the hole.
yep.
You don't have to call the
Fajoli
anyways.
plays Regista. Fajoli plays Regista. He's the
Put
best
him
Regista out of
as
those
a
guys.
regista. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, let Adley play advanced. Yeah, you're right. I like that setup.
They
Yeah,
need
that's how
goals.
Goodmanson and Keane have to be the
Yep.
mix. Is Dodo healthy?
I have no idea, but they are definitely missing him. Having Doro there is he's good at bombing down that side.
Yeah, he's been awesome. And on the left side, Gosens has been pretty good. Although I like Gosens coming on late. He gets clutch goals. I think.
Golson's always bags a big goal for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually like when they start him though. I think I would start Parisi and bring on Gosens, and then
Maybe.
in the back line, definitely I want to see Kamutso and not fucking Pongracic. I think that guy sucks. I don't know
Is
why he
Ranieri
plays.
available? Because he didn't play this last game, but
Yeah,
he was suspended.
yeah, I think he was suspended. Yeah, Ranieri would be available.
Do you run
I think
Mari or
Ranieri's
do you run Pongracic? Because who's their third? Because
well, Ranieri
you gotta run
Mari
Kubica
is much
Rangacic. Or
no Ranieri Mari Kamutso. Mari is definitely better than Pongracic. Pongracic sucks.
yeah, I've never been impressed by him, but he has not like missed a game. Yes, several weeks.
I know.
I think he's in. I think it's gonna be Muto
Ugh.
Pongracic, Ranieri.
Kamutsa did well in the center of defense, though. He did play there this week. He's been playing him typically on the right side, but he played him in the center this time,
Yeah,
and he looked really good there. You don't. There's a little bit less decision making there, and you just got to be a good battler and good in the air. So I mean,
which is
that's your
kind
kind
of
of like
good for him. Yeah.
kind of guy. Yeah, yeah. He's a physical player. So I liked him there actually. He was well protected. It worked a lot for Bremer. Bremer was always kind of dumb and would make horrible decisions. And then as soon as they sandwiched him in between a couple people, it was like, oh, he's doing a lot better now.
No man, it's a weird role. I'm not sure because that center role to me, I'd actually prefer the other way around. I'd actually rather have my smarter guy there who can like clean up and anticipate. Yes, if my more aggressive guys make mistakes, I like your right center back or left center back, you got coverage behind you, whereas you don't have that
It
coverage if
seems
you make a mistake in the center.
it
So
seems like that. In my experience, I've seen our two dumbest guys move in there, and it's been working better.
yeah, I mean,
I agree with you. It seems that way, but just I thought Bonucci was our dumbest guy. He was excellent in the middle. I thought Bremer was definitely our dumbest center back the past couple of years, and when they moved into the middle of it, he's become awesome. So I don't know. It seems that way to me too. I agree with you, but
maybe some people are just better playing that spot.
yeah, sure.
Who knows? All right, we're all set.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and as always, what is the calcio and ciao.